Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the podcast, and welcome to your Monday Night Raw post show, man. And there is a lot to talk about in today's episode. This was the go-home show for Monday Night Raw going into this weekend's Wrestlemania. We have a lot to talk about, man. We hear from the OTC, the Tribal Chief himself, Roman Reigns. We hear from World Heavyweight Champion CM Punk as well. We also have a contract signing, finally, between the likes of Obafemi and Brock Lesnar. We hear from Paul Heyman as well. We also see Lyra Valkyria and Charlotte Flair in action. We also hear from Women's World Heavyweight Champion Stephanie Vaquer. We also see the Usos and LA Knight in action as well on Monday Night Raw. We also hear from the, career ender, if you will, Gunther. Gunther's there as well. We also see Io Sky in action as well. We also, again, like I said, have a contract signing between Obafemi and Brock Lesnar. And we also have a Liv Morgan vignette also to talk about in today's episode as well, man. But let's start off tonight. We hear from none other than the Tribal Chief himself, Roman Reigns. Now, this was pretty much a cold open to the show. It was a Roman Reigns vignette to kick off on the Night Raw last night. But Roman tells Punk to enjoy his time of relevancy. Roman then says that Punk exposed himself as a hypocrite. Roman then says that he likes Pat, but he would never let a punter make fun of him. Roman says that either Punk is going to tell the truth tonight, or he will. Some interesting stuff there from Roman Reigns. Moving on from that, we have Adam Pearce and Triple H standing in the middle of the ring. Adam Pearce announces that Oba and Lesnar will sign their WrestleMania contract separately. After that, Adam Pearce and Triple H are interrupted by none other than Paul Heyman. Heyman says that for once, Adam Pearce is correct. Heyman then says that it's WrestleMania fight week and nobody needs to get close to Brock Lesnar. Lesnar is here. Lesnar then gets to the ring. He grabs the contract and quickly signs it. Heyman then says that there you go. History has been made. Lesnar then grabs the microphone and says, "You won't even know his name after this weekend," mentioning Obafemi. Heyman says that here's a spoiler. There will be a winner and a loser, and the loser's name will be Obafemi. Heyman says there will be a winner, and his name is Brock Lesnar. Some interesting stuff there from Paul Heyman. Moving on from that, we have I Showed Speed vignette. Shows I Showed Speed training for his matchup at WrestleMania, where he's joining the Vision, taking on the Usos and LA Knight. And moving on from that, we go into our first official match of Monday Night Raw. It is Lyra Valkyria taking on Charlotte Flair. I thought it was a decent match. It was a back-and-forth matchup between Lyra and Charlotte, with Flair keeping the pace of the match. Lyra hits a spin kick on Flair for a near fall. Lyra then goes to the top rope, hits a leg drop for a near fall. Lyra then goes for a moonsault, but Flair had her knees up. This allowed Flair to hit a moonsault of her own, landing on Lyra Valkyria for a near fall. Lyra gets up, tries to get some offense in by hitting a fisherman suplex on Flair for a near fall. Flair then sends Lyra out of the ring into Bayley, who was ringside. Flair then goes for a roll-up, but Bayley sweeps the legs of Flair. This allowed Lyra Valkyria to counter into a roll-up of her own, pins for the 3, and your winner of the match is Lyra Valkyria. Hats off to Lyra Valkyria for getting the win in this matchup. Moving on from that, we hear from Stephanie Vaquer. She's being interviewed by Kathy Kelly. Stephanie Vaquer comes out to the ring. Kathy says, things are getting personal here between yourself and Liv Morgan. After this, Stephanie is attacked by Liv Morgan. She ends up pushing Stephanie into Kathy Kelly. Liv then grabs a microphone and says she knows Stephanie's mother was trash, but she didn't know that she raised a bitch. An all-out brawl happens between Liv Morgan and Stephanie Vaquer, where WWE security and refs try to break up the brawl. Liv then was yelling, "You're done for." Liv then looks insane as well as unhinged. Looks like Stephanie Vaquer got under the skin of Liv Morgan. Moving on from that, we go into our next match of the night. It's a 6-man tag team matchup where it is the Usos teaming up with LA Knight to take on the MFTs. Again, this was a good match. It was a back-and-forth matchup between both teams, with the Usos and LA Knight keeping the pace of the match. Jey Uso hits an enziguri in the middle of the ring, followed by LA Knight hitting an elbow drop off the top rope for a near fall. Solo then hits a Samoan spike in the middle of the ring. Solo then is on the outside. He spots Tama Tonga. Solo then yells, "Where the hell have you been?" LA Knight, meanwhile, in the middle of the ring, hits a BFT on Tongaloa, pins for the 3, and your winner of the match, or winners of the match, I should say, are the Usos and LA Knight. Hats off to the Usos and LA Knight for getting the win in this matchup. Moving on from that, we hear from Gunther. Gunther comes out to the ring, grabs a microphone, but he's quickly interrupted by Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins attacks Gunther from behind. Rollins then grabs a microphone and says, 2 weeks now, you jumped me, and that you had a receipt coming, and this was the receipt. Rollins then says, this is personal to you, then walk down here to this ring and tell me why you want to face me at Wrestlemania. Gunther then beelines to the ring, grabs a microphone. He gets face-to-face with Seth Rollins. Gunther says that he is solving Heyman's problem because Rollins is pissing him off. Gunther says that Rollins became an idiot while working for Paul Heyman. Gunther says that Rollins can't even lace his boots. After this irritated Seth Rollins, and Rollins once again attacks Gunther. Some interesting stuff there between Seth Rollins and Gunther. Moving on from that, we go into our next match of the night. It's Io Sky taking on Kairi Sane. This match was made in the middle of the show. Impromptu matchup, if you will. It was a good match. It was a back-and-forth matchup between Io and Kairi Sane, with Kairi Sane keeping the pace of the match. Io hits a moonsault off the barricade, taking out Kairi Sane on the outside. Asuka, who was ringside, attacks Io. Rhea Ripley is here. Rhea then goes to attack Asuka, but Jade comes out of nowhere and attacks Rhea Ripley. Io Sky then hits a dive to the outside, taking out Jade. Io then goes for a moonsault, but Asuka once again attacks Io Sky. This allowed Kairi Sane to hit a roll-up on Io Sky, pins for the 3, and your winner of the match is Kairi Sane. Hats off to Kairi Sane for getting the win in this matchup. Moving on from that, once again we hear from Adam Pearce and Triple H. But Oba Femi is here. Oba quickly signs the contract, but Triple H points up towards the ramp. And standing on the ramp is Paul Heyman. Heyman says that he's been in this industry his entire life. And he says that he's never seen someone rise to stardom like Oba Femi. Heyman says that Oba is a violent man. He also says that Oba says that the most violent man, or Heyman says the most violent man since Brock Lesnar. Heyman also says that Oba is the fastest rising star in WWE since Brock Lesnar. Seems as if Heyman is really comparing Oba Femi to the beast Brock Lesnar. Fans were then chanting Oba. Heyman then says the fans are starting to piss him off. Heyman says on Sunday it all comes to an end, and that everything that Oba Femi has built will come to an end by the hands of Brock Lesnar. Heyman then tells Oba there's no harm in losing. Heyman says that he is here to help rebuild Oba's career after WrestleMania. Oba then grabs a microphone and says that it's taking everything out of him not to walk down to the ramp and beat the shit out of Paul Heyman. Fans then chant, beat his ass. After this, Oba says no. The physical scars will heal, but the emotional scar of him beating Brock Lesnar will last a lifetime. Oba says that he got 4 weeks of history that Lesnar can be beat. Oba says that it's not personal, but the fans can feel it. He can feel it. It's time to put the beast to sleep. Oba says that Lesnar is afraid of him. He also said that he will slay the beast at WrestleMania because he's always been the one. Oba then tells Heyman he's the one, and the fans know it, he knows it, and most importantly, Paul Heyman also knows it. Great work here from Oba Femi, by the way. This promo was awesome. But moving on from that, we have a Liv Morgan vignette. Now, this was kind of teased, I believe, last week, where it was kind of like a music video, if you will, from Liv Morgan. And that's exactly what we got here in this vignette. This was a debut of Liv Morgan's new music video that just came out. So I thought it was some interesting stuff there from Liv Morgan. Moving on from that, we have tag team action. We got Javon Evans teaming up with Dragon Lee to take on JD McDonough and Rusev. I thought it was a good match. It was a back-and-forth matchup between both teams with JD and Rusev keeping the pace of the match. JD hits a moonsault to the outside. Rusev then hits a fall-away slam, sending Evans over the announce table. Dragon Lee then hits a Spanish fly, followed by a Styles Clash in the middle of the ring. Pins for the 3, and your winners of the match are Dragon Lee and Javon Evans. After the match, you can see Rusev attacking Evans and Lee. Rusev then hits a fallaway slam on Evans once again in the middle of the ring. Rusev then goes for an accolade on Dragon Lee, but he's interrupted by Rey Mysterio. Mysterio comes out to the ring. He attacks Rusev. Rey goes for a 619, but Rusev lands a devastating lariat, taking out Rey Mysterio. Penta then was left standing in the middle of the ring, but Penta's music hits. Penta then attacks Rusev. Penta then goes for an attack on Rusev once again, but Rusev lands a Machka kick on Penta, followed by Rusev landing Machka kicks on everyone in the middle of the ring. It looks like Rusev is sending a message to the Intercontinental Champion. And closing out the night, we hear from the Tribal Chief himself, Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns comes out to the ring, grabs a microphone. He asks the fans to acknowledge him, but Roman is quickly interrupted by CM Punk. Punk then walks through the crowd. He stands on the announce table, staring down Roman. Punk says that after watching the cold open, he's here to tell the truth. But Punk says that if he tells his truth, then he asks Roman to tell me when I'm telling lies. Roman then says that Punk enters the ring, we're not going to need these microphones. Punk then was standing on the apron, and he says he hates Roman. Punk says that he hates Roman because he envies Roman. Punk says that wrestling was his only dream. Punk envies that the wrestling business was handed to Roman Reigns. He also hates Roman Reigns' title reign. But he says he hates the fact that Roman worked so hard, or worked his ass off, for that title reign. Punk says that he hates how many times Roman has main evented WrestleMania. Again, Punk says, tell me when I'm telling lies. Punk then mentions Sika. He says Sika was a great man, a great wrestler, an old-timer. Punk says that he respects the old-timers. Punk then apologizes for bringing up Sika's name. Punk says that he hates that there is more than one royal family in pro wrestling, and that he wasn't born into a wrestling dynasty, like Roman. After this, Punk says that he had to find his family in VFWs and working on the indies. Punk says that he conquered the indies and Japan. He also says that he busted his ass to get to where he's at today. Punk says that he hates that he has to share anything with Roman, including headlining the WrestleMania card. Punk says on WrestleMania Sunday night, the ref is going to say, and still, World Heavyweight Champion, CM Punk. Roman says, that was some of the truest stuff that you have ever said, besides the ending. Roman says that he hates Punk too. Roman says that he hates Punk because the relationship Punk has with the fans. Roman says that he hopes one day when he leaves, the fans will still chant OTC, or chant Roman. After this, Roman says on Sunday, the reality is time is up. Roman says on Sunday, it won't be and still. Instead, they will say, and new. And Roman then closes out the show by saying the Tribal Chief will take over. Some interesting stuff there between the OTC Roman Reigns and the World Heavyweight Champion CM Punk. A couple of things I want to talk about with you guys, man, as far as Monday Night Raw is concerned before I get the hell up out of here. Number one, this was a solid show. It really was. I mean, honestly, the build-up for these matches for WrestleMania, most notably Punk and Reigns, Obafemi and Lesnar. So I want to start with Obafemi and Brock Lesnar. Paul Heyman has been stating now for the past few weeks that this is the legit main event of WrestleMania. Paul Heyman has been telling people now for the past few weeks that this is the true main event of WrestleMania. And I really started thinking, is this something where maybe Paul Heyman's onto something here? Because if you look at the narrative for Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton, that's shit to bed due to somebody named Pat McAfee, who's a TKO stooge. You got Punk and Reigns, but then you have Obafemi and Brock Lesnar. Two Goliaths in the ring. Two heavyweights getting ready to have a clash in the middle of the ring. So when Paul Heyman kept saying, that this is a real main event, this is the true main event of WrestleMania, it's really hard to discredit what Heyman is saying. These two guys are going to tear the house down. These two guys are going to lock horns in the middle of the ring. Two giants, two Goliaths in the middle of the ring. On one side of the ring, you got the Beast, Brock Lesnar. And the other side of the ring, you got the ruler in Obafemi. And, I've had some choiceful words to say about Brock, and I'm not going to take back what I said. But this is a very highly anticipated matchup here between Brock and Oba. Whether you like Brock Lesnar or not. Brock Lesnar is going to put asses in seats when it pertains to WWE, especially WrestleMania. And this is a prime example of that. with the help also from Obafemi. Obafemi is a guy that has only been on the main roster now for a few months, and he is red hot. I mean, to a point where this guy is going to carry WWE on his back for the next 10, 15 years. From the entrance music, the way he comes out to the ring, just the presence alone of Obafemi speaks volumes to a lot of people, because this guy is a force to be reckoned with. The song works, the Obafemi, the chants, the Oba. I mean, it's a lot of similarities, honestly, not for Brock Lesnar, but when Goldberg came into WCW. And I know people are going to say, oh my God, bro, here we go, another WCW reference. But, bro, look how they chant this guy's name. Look how they chant this guy's name. Look how much he's over right now as one of the biggest baby faces of the company. The guy's only been on the main event scene for a few months. And here he is having a WrestleMania match, highly anticipated matchup with Brock Lesnar. This guy here, Obafemi, is the next big thing. This is a guy that's going to carry this company on his back for the next 10, 15 years. And my standpoint with this matchup is going to be the same now and the same going into the match at WrestleMania. Obafemi needs to walk out with the win. It's time for Brock Lesnar to get back to the business, and it's time for Lesnar to put over another superstar, and that superstar is Obafemi. He is the one. He even told Paul Heyman that he's the one. He's the guy. He's the next one in charge. He's the next guy to carry this company on his back. So it's time for Brock Lesnar to get back to the business and put this guy over at WrestleMania. It's time, bro. It's time. Brock Lesnar has nothing else more to give, nor, for that matter, to prove anymore in WWE. It's time for him to give back. Absolutely. And Obafemi is that guy. And I'm hoping that WWE actually pulls the trigger on that and actually gets Obafemi the win. Because he's the guy. He's the next superstar for WWE. Absolutely. And there's a lot of matches on the table for Obafemi that will be monumental matches, bro. From across the board. Whether it's Gunther, whether it's Seth Rollins, whether it's, Christ, bro, it could be LA Knight. It can be, maybe some people from SmackDown, Drew McIntyre, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed. Once they're healthy and ready to come back and return. I mean, there's still a lot of names on the table for Obafemi to have 5-star matches. Absolute banger matches. And this is one of them. So when they had the contract signing, I was all for it, man. I was, my thing is they tried to do the contract signing, I believe it was last week. Obviously that went terribly wrong with the fact that they just wanted to beat the shit out of each other. So Adam Pearce and Triple H came up with the wild idea to have the contract signing separately. That way both Lesnar and Obafemi can sign the contracts for the WrestleMania match without any kind of distractions or hesitation, for that matter, for their match at WrestleMania. So I was happy with that, bro. I think this match could possibly be the one match on this card for WrestleMania that a lot of people are going to be tuning into. I think a lot of people are excited. I think the fans alone are excited that this match is actually going down roughly in about, 6 days? I mean, it's incredible. I think this is one of those matches that a lot of people are going to have their eyes tune into or tune on to for this matchup. Two Goliaths, two heavyweights clashing in the middle of the ring. I also want to talk about CM Punk and Roman Reigns. Now, I'm going to be honest. Right now, I mean, if we're going storyline based alone, going into the main events of WrestleMania, I mean, you got to give it to Punk and Reigns, especially over Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes. Right now, Orton and Rhodes can't even touch what CM Punk and Roman Reigns have been doing for the past few weeks. Not even close. And the reason why that is everybody needs to point the finger at Pat McAfee because he shit the bed on this matchup between Orton and Rhodes. And this is, I feel bad for Cody Rhodes because once again, he's trying to turn chicken shit into chicken salad. We already had to deal with the Travis Scott situation, and now here we are with Pat McAfee involved in a Cody Rhodes match. It's a bunch of horse shit. So, Roman Reigns and CM Punk close out the show last night. And Punk tells Roman why he envies him. He envies him because of everything. The fact that he main evented in WrestleMania, the fact that he had this long, elaborate title reign, the fact that, Roman had to work his ass off to have that title reign, and a title reign that was immensely successful. This pissed CM Punk off. He was jealous. He envied Roman Reigns. And tells Roman and reiterates that he hates Roman Reigns. But CM Punk also mentions or brings up the name of Sika, Roman's father. the late great Sika from the Wild Samoans. So my thing with this is I felt like in a way they were kind of backpedaling a little bit. You know, CM Punk had quite a bit of opportunities to apologize for what he said about Sika or bringing Sika's name up. Then we get to the go-home show from Monday Night Raw, and he tells Roman, hey, I want to apologize for bringing up Sika's name. He also says that Sika was a great man, a great wrestler, a respected old-timer. And Punk says that he respects the old-timers in professional wrestling. I think it was last week he even mentioned Harley Race. So clearly Punk has a respect for the old-timers of professional wrestling, and we all should. But what threw me off was the apology. I'm sorry for bringing up Sika's name. Bro, you had plenty of time to, apologize to Roman for bringing up Sika's name. I mean, hell, Jey Uso was begging you to apologize for what you said about Sika. And here we are now, the go-home show from Monday Night Raw going into WrestleMania, and Punk finally apologizes to Roman Reigns. And I'm going to be honest. I mean, once Punk apologized, it really had my mind turning a little bit. Is this something where we're going to see CM Punk drop the World Heavyweight title to Roman Reigns at WrestleMania? Knowing that Roman Reigns right now is on a very limited part-time schedule. But is this something that WWE is actually possibly going to entertain with Roman Reigns walking out of WrestleMania Night 2 as the World Heavyweight Champion? Is this something that they're actually entertaining? Is, Roman going to come back on a more full-time basis than what he has been if he is World Heavyweight Champion? What does this do for CM Punk if he does lose the World Heavyweight title to Roman Reigns? Are we going to see any involvement from The Rock, maybe? Knowing what Punk said about Sika, is there going to be some kind of, false finish? We don't know. That's the thing. This match here between Punk and Reigns is so 50-50, it's unreal. But again, it's one of the biggest storylines going into this year's WrestleMania. Cody and Randy, it's not doing it. Pat McAfee completely fucked that up. I'm sorry. That whole shit between Orton and Rhodes is trash now because of Pat McAfee. It is. I'm sorry. Right now, the two main events going into WrestleMania this year, hands down, is CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and Obafemi and Brock Lesnar. Because I don't think anybody genuinely gives a shit about what Orton and Rhodes are doing. Unfortunately. Because the match sold itself on the 20-year friendship that both these guys have had. The animosity these guys now have for what Randy Orton did to Cody Rhodes after he turned heel. There was no need to add a dipshit like Pat McAfee to this match. The reason why they did add Pat McAfee is because Ari Emanuel, who runs TKO, who's an owner of WWE as well, 51% owner, 52% owner, thought it was a great idea to bring in the likes of Pat McAfee a part of the festivities for WrestleMania because, he's a main event, he's a mainstream star, and they, Pat McAfee could sell tickets. Pat McAfee can't draw flies to shit. But they think it's a great idea. Come on, bro. It's a fucking joke, man. It's a joke. The match sold itself between Orton and Rhodes based on the 20-year friendship that these two guys have had. And the fact that Orton turned heel on his buddy, Cody Rhodes. You did not need to add the likes of a Pat McAfee to that. I feel bad for Cody Rhodes, and it says a lot about Randy Orton. Why does Randy Orton need the likes of a Pat McAfee to help build this matchup at WrestleMania? When Orton's going, the story writes itself. Orton's going after his 15th title reign. His 15th title shot. You know what I mean? It's just a shitty, it's a whole thing with Pat is just, it's not needed, and everybody has already vented their frustration. Hell, I've vented my frustrations. It's a fucking joke. But with Roman and Punk, it's going to be a great match. They told a hell of a story. They made it personal. Punk most notably made it personal with bringing in the names of Sika, Roman's father. The Usos also got involved at one time during this matchup here the storyline here between Punk and Reigns. It pissed the Usos off because of what Punk said about Sika. So the story started picking up, and then it slowly started to deteriorate going into this week, where Punk actually apologized to Roman for bringing up Sika's name. So it definitely threw me the hell off, to be honest with you. Like I said, bro, this matchup between Roman and Punk is definitely going to be 50-50, man. There's a good chance that Roman might walk out of WrestleMania as World Heavyweight Champion. Absolutely. And after the fact that CM Punk apologized, I could see it happening. I can totally see Roman walking out World Heavyweight Champion. It's really, 50-50 shot to be honest with you. We get the contract signing between Obafemi and Brock Lesnar. Look, bro, I said this earlier about Oba, and I'm going to say it again. Obafemi is the next guy up, man. He is the next big superstar for WWE. This is a guy that's going to carry this company on his back for the next 10, 15 years. And Obafemi should go over and get the win over Brock Lesnar. It is time for Lesnar to get back to the business. There's nothing else left for Brock to do in WWE anymore. There's nothing. There's not. Now, that's not saying at maybe SummerSlam or something we'll have Gunther versus Brock Lesnar, and that'll be Lesnar's retirement match, and Gunther then once again retires another superstar in Brock Lesnar. But there's nothing else left as far as accolades are concerned for Brock Lesnar. There's not. He's done it all in WWE. There's nothing else left for Brock to do. It's time for Lesnar to get back to the business. And to put Obafemi over is giving back to the business. Having the ruler slay the beast. It just makes sense, folks. I mean, it's not rocket science. It makes perfect sense because right now, Obafemi is so over. It's insane. This guy is getting, the Goldberg treatment in WCW, man. This guy came into the main event scene. The fans gravitated towards him instantly. You know, they got behind the ruler gimmick, the entrance music, just the persona of who he is as a person. It's incredible. You know, Paul Heyman said it perfectly. I've never seen anybody rise to stardom as quickly as Obafemi has. It's just who he is, bro. The guy is a Goliath. He is a giant. He is built like a brick shithouse. And he comes to the ring, bro, and it's just the presence of Obafemi. And it's hard to look away when he has matches because he's in there kicking people's asses. So bringing this guy in and the fact that he's been beating the shit out of Lesnar and making Lesnar look like a damn fool. I know a lot of people are saying, well, Brock Lesnar's going to get his receipt and he might beat Obafemi at WrestleMania. Maybe. But I think it's time for Brock to get back to the business and actually put somebody over. And what better way to do that than at WrestleMania putting over WWE's biggest star right now in Obafemi. I think it works out perfectly, not only for WWE, but also for Obafemi. It puts him in a whole different echelon as far as being a main roster talent. This guy's got future World Heavyweight Champion written right across his forehead, bro. This guy is a future World Champion. Multi-time World Champion. And like I said before, there's a lot of matches on the table for Oba that are going to be 5-star banger matches. This match here between Brock Lesnar and Oba is already a barn burner match. There's two Goliaths. Two giants locking horns in the middle of the ring. This is a legitimate heavyweight clash right here. For all the marbles. Between Obafemi, the ruler, and the beast Brock Lesnar. This is your heavyweight matchup right here. And I'm telling you right now, man, once these two guys get into the ring and they lock horns for the first time ever, when that bell sounds, that arena is going to erupt. I'm telling you guys right now. Everybody's going to be standing at the edge of their seat for this matchup, myself included. I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be one hell of a match. And like I said before, it's going to be a match that a lot of eyeballs are going to be on for this matchup here between Obafemi and Brock Lesnar. And I'm looking forward to it, man. It's going to be one hell of a match. And we're going to see both these Goliaths lock horns in Vegas this weekend at WrestleMania, man. I'm definitely looking forward to it for Obafemi and Brock Lesnar. We also see Charlotte Flair in action as well. Obviously, it's just a matchup leading up to their Fatal 4-Way Women's Tag Team Championship matchup at WrestleMania. We see Penta. Penta's defending the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania in a ladder match where Rusev, JD McDonough, Rey Mysterio's involved, Penta's involved, JD McDonough's involved, and Javon Evans is also involved in this ladder match. Should be one hell of a match, by the way. Seeing Javon Evans in a ladder match is going to be very interesting because that dude's incredible, man, in the square circle alone. Very acrobatic. The springboards, the moonsaults, the OG cutter. Dude, it's going to be quite the show to see Javon Evans in a ladder match at WrestleMania, man. You know he's going to try to steal the show in this championship matchup for the Intercontinental title, man. I'm definitely looking forward to that. We also hear from Gunther. We hear from Seth Rollins. Rollins wanted to know why Gunther wanted to make this so personal, and Gunther told him. The reason why it's so personal is because Rollins is pissing Gunther off. And Gunther reiterated that he believes that Seth Rollins couldn't even lace his boots. And the fact that when Rollins was working with Paul Heyman, he looked like an idiot. And Gunther wants to expose who the real Seth Rollins really is. So again, another banger match for this year's WrestleMania. So I'm looking forward to it, man. I think WrestleMania is going to be very telling after this weekend. It could be either really, really good, or it could be something where a lot of people are going to be very pissed off with how WrestleMania played out. And honestly, for what it's worth, too, it's going to be interesting to see how WrestleMania plays out, because I feel like Triple H and the powers at WWE are just trying to do whatever they can just to get past WrestleMania, because they've already got the backlash from the fans already stating that WrestleMania this year is going to be a shit show just based off the ticket prices alone. So hopefully, WWE can, prevail and put on a really good show for the fans, because, again, the fans are already showing and venting their frustrations with WWE as it is. From the ticket prices to the storylines to the build, or lack thereof, going into this year's WrestleMania. So, yeah, fans are already showing and saying their frustrations already going into WrestleMania. So, hopefully, like I said, man, WWE can prevail and really put on a hell of a show in the show of shows being WrestleMania. It's the biggest wrestling show of the year. And hopefully, WWE can actually put on a really solid show for the fans for this year's WrestleMania. But again, man, it is what it is. Raw is, it wasn't bad. It wasn't the greatest Raw. I wasn't expecting a whole lot coming out of it. It was pretty much trying to button everything up going into WrestleMania. So, wasn't that bad of a show, man. But we got a busy week here on the podcast. Obviously, we got the Monday Night Raw upload coming out to you guys here soon. We got AEW Dynamite. Be very interested to see how that plays out. The rumor is that MJF will be defending the AEW Championship against Darby Allin on Dynamite. So we had that upload coming out to you guys on Thursday. We also have Friday Night SmackDown also being uploaded to you guys. And we have WrestleMania Saturday and Sunday this weekend as well. So a very busy week this week. But I'm definitely looking forward to it. Like I said, man, this is the place to be for these post shows, for Monday Night Raw, for Dynamite, for SmackDown, for WrestleMania. This is the place to be for those post shows, man. So hopefully you guys will join me on those reviews for WrestleMania, SmackDown, Dynamite, as well as Monday Night Raw. And I'm looking forward to it, man. Like I said, it's going to be a very busy week, but I'm definitely looking forward to this weekend's WrestleMania. And we're going to see how things play out, man. It's going to be a very interesting show this weekend at WrestleMania. But with that being said, though, this is my review of Monday Night Raw. I hope you guys are out there staying safe. Be careful, and remember, stay classic. Peace.